A lot of people have trouble starting a project. Maybe it is you, maybe it's not. Maybe you're actually really good at starting, but you're not always good at keeping going. Yeah? And then what about finishing and completing? Not only do you want to start, keep it going, you also want to finish. When it comes to achieving your goals, when it comes to doing a project, that would be a win for you. So let's talk about starting. Now, I'm going to ask you several questions, and as you consider these questions, things may surface in your mind. Pictures, sound, you may tell yourself something, or you may even feel a certain feeling. Now, whatever comes up in your mind, just trust that at the end of this, you will find an answer, and allow yourself to give you an answer. Yeah, and the answer is the answer to the question of what can I learn from it? And I'll lead you along this process. So let's get going. So here's the first question. Have you been good at starting? Have you been good at starting everything or only specific things? Now, what about, have you ever been not so good at starting something? And what is that? Is it a certain category, or is it just in general? Is it like a certain period of time? Consider it in time, matter, space, and energy, right? When were you not good at starting, and when were you good at starting? Yeah? And what specifically were you good at starting, and what were you not good at starting? Yeah? That's time and matter. Space is where were you really good at starting something? Was it a certain environment? Was it when you were within a certain group or certain social group? Or was it, when you're with your friends or with your family or alone, yeah? Then energy, right? Was there a specific emotional state that gets you going, that makes it really easy for you to get started? Notice where we're exploring different scenarios or different aspects of our reality that would cause you to be really good at starting something or not so good. Now, if you were to come up with something like, oh, I'm really good at starting something, when it's the beginning of the year, like a gym membership. I'm really motivated to get fit. Now, that's great. That is a start, right? That's the start. Now, are you necessarily good at keeping it going or completing it? That's not actually what we care about here yet. That will be the next topic. We just want to know when you're good at starting something. And when you're not good at starting something, right? Maybe it's middle of the year, you're not exactly good at starting something. It's whatever that is, right? Or when, where, or, with whom, or, is it a certain emotional state that causes it? So we want to take notes of those things. And if there's something limiting, you ask yourself, what can I learn from it? Yeah? You may say, I'm not very good at starting something in the middle of the year because, the economy, because of this, because of that. Now, the next question for you to help yourself resolve it in terms of coaching yourself would be, what can I learn from it? The learning of which will allow me to completely let go of the problem. Now, this is like a math formula. When you answer the question, it necessitates that your mind gives you only the thing that will help you resolve it. So when you answer the question, you'll find the problem gets resolved. It's pretty magical, but it's just science. It's mathematics of the mind, yeah? Linguistic math, in a sense, yeah? Or mathematical language. Next, what's the purpose of starting something? Everything you start, you want to ask yourself, what's the purpose of it? And then next, consider this. What's something that you must start that you haven't yet or don't want to yet? What's something that you must start that you haven't yet or don't want to yet? When you consider these questions, you'll find a lot of special thoughts and thinking and just really useful inspirations that may come to your mind. Another question is, what's something that you don't want to do or don't want to start but has started? Is there something that you don't want to start but has started? What is it, right? Once again, if you come up with something that you don't like, you ask yourself, what can I learn from it? The learning of which will allow me to let go of this problem. Now, let's go to the next question. What do you see or hear or feel or tell yourself when you start a new project? Do you say something really nice to yourself, and do you see the picture of it completing successfully? Or do you see something that is the opposite of success and tell yourself that it won't work out anyway? Now, if you were the latter, what you'll find is that mindset actually leads you down a path where your micro behaviors adds up to creating a matching reality of how you don't have what you want. On the opposite hand, you'll find that if you were to focus on what you want, and that you see, hear, or feel, or tell yourself when you start a new project really good things, and you're in control of that, yeah? Maybe not the first flash of thought, but maybe, right? Over time, your mind will begin to show you good images, good sound, and all that. Now, you may say, what's the purpose of these pictures that are showing up in my mind that are not positive? Part of it is the unconscious mind's natural capability to take the path of least resistance. Part of it is your programming, your filters, and your map. And the other part of it, who knows? We don't really know for sure. What we do know is what you can do to generate results is by testing, yeah? And testing these questions we're asking you here. Next, What is important to starting what you want? Yeah? What is important to you when it comes to starting what you want? Knowing what's important to you, you'll know your unconscious mind's natural tendency to be motivated on something and not something else. Next, what have you not considered that when you start would take you to the next level? I'll repeat. What's something that you have not considered that when you start everything, including your career, your life, to the next level in a very positive, healthy, very abundant way? Yeah? What's something that you have not yet considered that when you start would take you to the next level? Really consider that. Now, starting things are very important. It's very important to be able to start things. And your success does require and are dependent on your ability to start something successfully. Because there's no keeping or completing something if you don't even start it, right? So starting is very important. Now, here's the thing. The balance between this natural state of starting, think about it, right? Have you ever started books or started something and you don't finish it? However, how good were you at starting it? We are going to find out what you're good at each of the step before you make a decision or before you go do something. Starting, keeping, and completing. So knowing that you may not have completed different books, it actually does not mean that you won't start new books. So remember, at the end of the day, what's important is you understanding how you start things. And if you have had negative emotions and limiting beliefs when it comes to starting things, that may be why you haven't started that one thing in your life that when you start will cause a ripple effect so big that will change everyone's life and your family in a positive way. That would be awesome. So really begin to consider all these questions, and if you need to, just replay this audio track and you'll get it all over again.